Did I just find the perfect tube lights for brand new photographers? I think I might have. Today we are going to be talking about the Sutefoto tube lights, and I am going to give you my opinion on whether or not these lights are worth it. Nobody's paying me for this opinion. Nobody sent these to me. I paid for them with my own hard-earned Boudoir cash. But if you're just starting out and you're not really sure where to go with lighting, or you have a small space and you don't have room for a bunch of different soft boxes and flashes and strobes and all of that, I think we might have just found the perfect tube lights for you. And let's go over why that is. The Sutefoto light wands are full color RGB. You can adjust them to be between 2800 and 10,000 kelvins. So there are lots of options in terms of warmth, coolness, and color in general. And they retail on Amazon for $119.99. I will say there is a $20 coupon right now as of recording this episode, and that's what I used to get them. So I paid $100 for each of my lights. I ordered 2 of them, and I spent $200 on these lights. Now, these babies are bright, especially compared to my old LED light wands. And it's really, really easy to change the brightness on the panel right here. They're also 24 inches long, and that means a lot more of your subject is going to be illuminated. Let me show you what I was working with, which was a Young Nuo LED light wand. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Big upgrade for me. I thought I was so cool for shooting with these. And you know what? If you're just starting out or you're really on a budget, these aren't a bad way to go. But for a little bit more money, I think that the Sutefoto tube lights are totally worth it, and I wish I would have gotten them sooner. When I was at WPPI, I was at a group shoot hosted by Unveiled Shootouts, and she had these lights available for people to borrow, and I was like, yes, new toys, let me play. Let me see what I can do with these. And I fell in love with how easy they were to use. So, of course, I got home and immediately bought them. I've used them twice, once in Las Vegas for the group shoot, and then once in my studio here in Port Washington. And I've got some things to say about them. The fact that there's 360 colors to choose from when you are working with these tube lights means that there is so much room for art and creativity. And my favorite part, everything can be controlled from your phone. I did not have that option with my old light wands. And this is just making everything so much easier. I don't have to run back and forth between like my subject or where I'm standing and the lights. I can change everything right here on my phone in an app. I hooked both lights up very, very easily with Bluetooth. It's super intuitive. I gave them each a name. And when I turn them on, let me show you what happens. So once you've linked your phone to the light using Bluetooth, you get a lot of information and the ability to play around. So right off the bat, it's letting me know my battery life is 65%. That's good to know. And when I open up the individual light, I have the option to play with the intensity and color temperature, the green and magenta of the light. I can play with the hue and the saturation of the light. If I want to get really, really specific, I can go in and adjust each red or green or blue level along with the warmness or the coolness. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a trigger warning right now. We're going to do some flashing, but I'll let you know when it's over. There is an FX spot. So here comes the flashing. There's a way to create lightning. There's a way to create police sirens, a fire truck, an ambulance, the warm glow of fire or fireworks, a bad light bulb. Ooh, I know this one all too well. A TV glowing off into the distance of your room, or paparazzi, which I think is fantastic if you're going to use these for video. There's also a RGB cycle through. Really beautiful for video as well if you have it in the background while you're recording. Maybe a little less helpful for photography, but if you're getting into creating YouTube content or making reels for Instagram, this is pretty sweet. Okay, the flashing is done. You can return if flashing is not for you. But the fact that everything is so adjustable and so easy to do from my phone has already kind of blown me out of the water compared to what I was using, where everything had to be so manual and I had to run back and forth from where I was shooting to the light over and over again. When I was at the group shoot and Stephanie from Unveiled told me that there was an app, I was like, you've sold me. That's all I need to know. I'm easy to please. So to me, that's a huge win right off the bat. I've primarily used these lights for neon shots, something very, very colorful, but you could really use them in a lot of different ways, like creating a hair light, an accent light, or doing some kind of color washing on the wall. You could create faux lamp light. You could add more daylight into your shots. I mean, the list really goes on and on. I have not even played around with all of the features yet in camera, and I'm excited to see how I can use these in the future for my boudoir sessions. They're very easy to use, they're pretty intuitive, and there are multiple channels. So if you bought, several of them, you can sync them up on different channels. That way you can adjust them at the same time, depending on what channel they're linked on. So I only have 2, and most of the time when I'm shooting, I prefer them to be different colors, but if I ever wanted to color wash something, I would just sync them probably on the same channel, and then boom, they're going to do the exact same thing. They also have a very long battery life. Online, they claim to be up to 3 hours. I have not fully tested that out yet, but I've also never needed them to last that long. I don't record for a super long time when I am doing video, and I certainly do not have sessions that last 3 hours. That would be too much for me, and that would be way too much for my clients. So they're only in front of the camera for about an hour, and these will last that whole time. Should they die though, which, hey, it happens. Who hasn't forgotten to charge a battery here or there? What I love is that you can plug them in and still use them. That is not the case with certain ice lights or light wands, like my old one, which required a battery. And if I forgot to charge the batteries, I was just SOL, because this doesn't have any way of running except for a charged battery. Not ideal. Another aspect that I love about these lights is that they come with a handle. So if you do want to hold them above your subject while you're shooting, that's easy enough to do. If you don't want to hold it, the handle also converts into a tripod. Perfect for setting on a desk like I just had it, placing it on the floor, etc., etc. And there is a way to mount this on the bottom and on the top. So there's a little mount, a little screw hole, so you can attach this to a tripod or any kind of mount, really, if you wanted to. And I don't have to take this handle off to do it. I just flip it around and I attach it to my light stands on this end, and then I keep the handle on permanently on this end. Anything that will make my life easier, I am so here for. My one complaint so far with these lights is that Sutefoto no longer creates a retaining clip for them, which allows you to adjust the angle, which would be really nice. It's currently unavailable, and I cannot find this retaining clip anywhere else. I checked eBay, I've checked other photography websites that sell gear. I can't find it anywhere. I really hope that Sutefoto brings it back, because that clip allows you to move and twist the light in a lot of different ways. And I think it's a very valuable accessory. I'm not sure why it's not being made anymore, but that's a pretty small complaint, and that's not really about the light itself. The light so far has been great. I just really wish I had that little clip. There's also a light grid accessory that you can place over the tube light if you want to prevent light spillage and you just want to help focus that light a little bit more. I did have the opportunity to try that out a little bit, but I haven't purchased it yet. It's on my wish list, so eventually I'll be getting it here in the studio. But when you have a small space like I do, sometimes there's just not enough room for all of the gear that you want right away. I gotta do a little bit of spring cleaning in here and figure out where I could store yet another light grid. I feel like I already have too many. Compared to my old one, these light grids blow mine out of the water. There are better options on the market. For example, the Westcott ice light. That's probably the most popular ice light that I know of. It does cost around $219, but it has some more functionality as well. Like there are more colors and there are gel presets and things like that, but the color temperature range is not as big as these lights. And while I've never used a Westcott light, I've never used the ice lights, I do know their brand and they're very trusted for a reason. They're a very reputable brand. But sometimes when you're just starting out, you don't really need anything that elaborate. Or in my case, you've been doing this for 8 years and you still don't need anything that elaborate. If you're a beginner or you're on a budget or you just don't need something that advanced or fancy, these Sutefoto tube lights are the way to go. I would give them a 9 out of 10 for sure. And really the only reason they're not getting a 10 is because I want that clamp. I want the retaining clamp so bad. Please start making it. Otherwise, definitely a 9 out of 10. If you're not sure what to get, I would recommend trying these. If you're brand new to constant lights or really any kind of artificial light, and let's say you're only a natural light photographer right now and you just don't know where to start with lights, get the Sutefoto tube light. 2 of these are still less money than the Westcott ice light, at least if you're using that Amazon coupon. So I definitely think they are worth the bang for your buck, for sure. I love the ease of using them. I love the variation. I love being able to pick and choose different colors and brightness and saturation and all of the hues just so easily right from my phone. You can still do all of that on the panel, but I'm looking for something easy, so I'm going to primarily use my phone to do that. They're lightweight, they're easy to store, they come with the handle accessory, you can use them while they're charging. I mean, all of these reasons are why they're going to probably be my go-to constant light moving forward here at the studio. Let me show you a few ways that I've used these lights. So at a suite in Las Vegas, we had a model and she was shooting in a bathroom, so we placed the tube light inside of the shower and bathed the whole thing in pink. And then because we had this very beautiful window light coming in, we got gorgeous natural light on the front of her and then this beautiful hot pink wash behind her. I love the juxtaposition of the two. These images feel very flirty to me while also super duper sexy. That's a great mix of both in my opinion. We did a little bit of full-on color washing as well where everything was in pink, and now instead of the light being behind her, it was in front of her. She was covered in pink. The whole shower was covered in pink. Super, super cute and very fun. Something a little bit different than maybe your clients are used to shooting with. Here in the studio, I did a maternity session and I had both lights placed on either side of my client, and then I had just a constant video light with a softbox on it in front of my client, and we took these very beautiful, sort of ethereal, almost space-like type shots, and we played around a lot with the colors. I asked her what she liked, and she told me a little bit about her nursery and sort of the vibes of that, and I knew that one of these was probably going to go up in her nursery, so I wanted to keep in theme with that. We played a little bit with pink and orange, and then as the shoot progressed, we went a little more like spacey, oceany kind of themed with purple and blue. At one point, we did a full color wash of blue, and I took my video light, I added a snoot, put it off to the side, added a metal shadow pattern. The name of them is failing me right now, but they're circular and they have a pattern cut into them. And then I shone that at her to get this really beautiful texture on her skin, as well as behind her on the paper backdrop. And I am just having a blast with these. They're so fun. They're so creative. I know I haven't even begun to use them kind of to their full potential, but after just 2 uses, I already am so happy that I made this purchase. And if you are thinking about shooting with constant lights in your studio, these are a great option. Heck, if you're thinking about using constant lights out and about, maybe you typically do shoot not in a studio and you shoot outside with natural light, I still think these are worth adding to your kit, because you never really know what the lighting situation is going to be when you're shooting with just natural light. Plus, it gives you the flexibility and creativity to play around with some other fun colors, and odds are your clients haven't really had the chance to experience anything like that. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I am giving these bad boys a 9. The only reason they're not getting a 10 is because I don't have that retaining clip, which I really, really want. But should I ever get it, these would for sure be a 10 out of 10. Let me know if you've ever used these lights before, or if there's a different brand of tube light or ice light that you think is even better. Again, I know the Westcott one is really good, but I don't want to spend that. So I'm going to stick with my $100 lights for now. But tell me what you would do with them. What would you shoot? What do you think would be fun to create with these lights? And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more beginner-friendly YouTube tricks and how to start a boudoir studio and all that and so much more. We have a lot of stuff coming up that I am excited to share with you. I cannot wait to tell you all what I know so you can go out and do the same thing and have fun. Happy shooting. Bye.